Hello, you intricate creations, and welcome to my review of Spirit Hunter NG. Okay, let's get it out of the way. If you like the first game, you will definitely like this one. They are both very similar to each other in how they play and how you interact. So if you loved the aesthetic of the first one, if you loved the gameplay, if you loved the experience of that first game, then you will definitely enjoy this one. So I'm going to try my best to not repeat myself from the first review. I'll also link that into the description so you can just quickly check that out. But I will list off as many things as quickly which are as similar to the first as I can. Okay, the start. Art style. It is disturbingly beautiful because it's just one of those games that really does express the characters well. Their gruesome facial expressions, how the monsters look, it's just impressively disturbing. I love it. So much so there's actually one screenshot which I have taken from the game and have used it as my desktop background. It's not one of the creepy monsters, I promise. Once again, the game atmosphere is just incredible. You just get absorbed straight away. As soon as you start play, then that is it. You are absorbed within this atmosphere and you're absorbed within the world. It's just what it does. This is what these games really do well. Part of that is because of the art style. Another part is because the sound design is ear-terrifyingly good. There's so many subtle noises that you hear, whether they're just regular noises which sound somewhat disturbed, or if they are the noise the monsters are making. There's just little bits which just add to the beautiful taste that is the scariness of this game. Once again, you've got the deadly choices which are added, so if you get a multiple choice questions, you have a certain time limit to answer those in. Sometimes you need to answer super quickly, sometimes, here's a little hint, you don't need to answer at all, but I will say the majority of the time, like 95.24% of the time, you need to make sure that you pick the correct option. Do not pick one of the bad ones, you naughty boy or girl. The characters are also extremely expressive. They seem a lot more fleshed out, actually, I will say, in this one compared to the first one. Whether that's because you get to spend more time with the characters or with certain characters in this game compared to the first, I don't know, but there's just something that seemed a bit added extra within this game when it came to actually getting to know the characters. You definitely get a deeper bond with the characters this time around. Not that you didn't get a bond with the previous characters, but you know what I mean. There are a couple of faults, again, which I have found, which were similar to the first game. For example, if you do make a mistake, especially in the boss fights, the retries or the try-agains, or where you want to load your save from, can be incredibly distant. So you will smash that fast-forward button as quickly as you can to then get to where you need to. But again, there's no animation skip, sadly. So you will have to watch all the animations, and if some of them are quite long, you're just sat there going, oh no, I've already done this bit. So yeah, that can be a little bit frustrating. Also, it does fall into the trap. If you know everything that goes on, if you know the twists, it's not really worth a second playthrough straight away. It is kind of helped with a system which I'll get onto a little bit later, but it does fall into that trap that you need to kind of forget everything and then come back to playing it. It's not going to be a game that you complete and then go, yes, definitely going to do it again straight away. You will need a bit of time in between those. Okay, so some of the new things which are in the game and some of the things which will help you get that second playthrough a little bit earlier than the first game would is there's an expression system, so you can choose how your main character reacts to certain situations, whether he's happy, whether he's sad, extremely angry, overly obsessive. You get to choose that based on the facial expressions which come up. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen that often. I would have liked to have seen it implemented more, but you do get different dialogue options from those selections that you make, so there is that. If you want to go really angry and broody, you can, or if you want to be really obsessive and overly happy, doesn't actually fit the character because he's kind of got a personality already, but yeah, you can do that if you want to. Another thing is you can actually choose from the start how scary you want the game. I know that seems odd in a scary game, but you can choose the kind of spooks that you like. It mainly comes down to jump scares, so if you want a lot of jump scares, you go super scary mode. But I must admit, they have added some more subtle scares where you look at certain places and it does get you second guessing, like, wait, did I just see that, or did that actually not happen? It's really clever how they've added little bits of the scares, little bits of imagery in the background. There is also the side quest, if you can call it that, of the D-Man cards, which give you a little bit of extra lore. You can just ignore them completely, or you can decide to hunt them all down like I did and get them all because, you know, I am the best, apart from, you know, everyone else that's better than me. Also, I will say it did feel a little bit easier. I don't know if that's because I played the first game and got used to it, or if it really was just that much easier, but it felt like instead of the frustration sometimes of getting the choices in the correct order, it felt like it was a lot more streamlined, and I didn't have to do that as much, or it was a lot more obvious which order it had to go in. I know that was a couple of issues I had with the first game. A couple of the bosses, you're like, well, I know exactly which things I have to interact with or give to the bosses, but it didn't necessarily give you the order. But that's pretty much all I've got to say about Spirit Hunter NG. It's a really, really good game. I highly recommend it. If you like horror, if you like visual novels, even if you don't particularly like horror visual novels themselves, I definitely recommend you giving it a try. It's just one of those games that the atmosphere is up there with the Silent Hill games, in my opinion. The atmosphere is beautifully creepy, so you've got to try it if you love that kind of thing. Even if you don't, try it anyway. It's something that could be out of your comfort zone, but you could enjoy it still too. Give it a go. Go get spooked. It's that time of year. Well, you know, it's not that time of year if you're watching this sometime in July.